Good morning and welcome to another lesson on mathematics. Today we want to do number. We're still going to continue with number basis, but we want to do addition and subtraction of numbers that are in other bases that is not 10. I'm going to do example. E.g., I'm going to start with 8. You are required to add 234, which is in base 5, plus 142, which is in base 5. You are required to add those two numbers. So what you will do is 234 base 5 plus 142, which is also in base 5. As we do addition, you know you start from the far left. So you are going to say 4 plus 2. You start from the far left, 4 plus 2. 4 plus 2, what you get 6. But you know when we are doing numbers that are in base 5, you can't write 5 numbers. You can't write a 5 or bigger. You can't write a number that is 5 or bigger than 5. So the answer that you get, if it's 5 or more, you go and divide by 5. 5 goes into 6 how many times? It goes once, giving a remainder of 1. You go and write the remainder here. You put the remainder here, and that one goes there. You put the remainder here, and that one goes there. Then I go and 8 again, which is 4 plus 3 plus 1. You get what? You get 8. The number is more than 5. So I go and say 8 divided by 5. 8 divided by 5 is 1, remainder 3. So I go and put 3 here, which is the remainder, and 1 will go there. Then I will say 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1. You get 4, but that number is less than 5. So I go and write it here, which is here in base 10. But also the thing here is, when you are adding numbers that are in base 10, you do the same thing, but because you are dividing by 10, you don't see it. I'm going to do an example. For example, 97, which is in base 10, plus 1, 7. You will say, which is in base 10, 7 plus 7, you get 14. You don't write 14 here because that number is more than 10. So, but because if you say 14 divided by 10, you get 1 remainder 4. That's why you go on and write that 4, which is the remainder, and that 1 goes there. But because you are dividing by 10, you just take the number that you are given, you go and write down this number, and this one will be added on the numbers. Because you're dividing by 10, you don't see that's what you are doing. But now because you are dividing by a number which is less than 10, that is what you need to do. But even if you are dividing by 10, you are doing the same thing, but you don't know that's what you are doing. So we are saying it's the same thing with dividing by 10, but when you divide a number by 10, for example, if you say 55 divided by 10, is you get 5, remainder 5. So that 55 is the one that is used, so you don't get to see it. Example number 2. Example number 2. 4, 3, 2 to base 5 divided by 4, 1, 4 to base 5 again. You will say 4 plus 2, you get 6. So you will say 6 divided by 5, you get 1, remainder 1. So you put 1 here and that 1 there. 4, 3 plus 1 plus 1, you get what? 3, 4, 5, you get 5. So you say 5 divided by 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1, remainder 0. So you go and put 0 here and that 1 there. Then you say 4 plus 4 plus 1, you get 9. Then you say 9 divided by 4. 9 divided by 4, you get 1, remainder 4. So that 1 goes there and 4 goes there. Then you say you are left with 1. 1 plus 0, you get 1. Then the answer is in base what? In base 5. The answer is in base 5. Let's go and do subtraction. Subtract. (41) base 5 minus 32, which is in base 5. you say 1 minus 2. It can't. So it means I need to go and borrow. But when you borrow, you know this one becomes 4. But in this case, because we are doing in base 5, so this one doesn't come here and become 11 because this number is not in base 10. If it was in base 10, you know it will become 1 because you're saying 10 plus 1 becomes 11. But in this case, it's in base 5. So you go and add 5 here. So you say plus 5, which becomes what? Which becomes 6. So you need to say 6 minus 2. 6 minus 2, the answer is what? It's 4, which is in base 5. Because if you say here now 4 minus 4, you get 0. This one looks like 45. 4, which is in base 5, which is the same thing that you do even if you are subtracting in base 10. For example, if you say 61 minus 50, 52, which is in base 10. You say 1 minus 2, it can't, so you go and borrow. Then this becomes 6. You go and put 1 here. The reason why you put 1, because because we want to say 10 plus 1, 10 plus 1 becomes 11. So when we are doing it in base 10, you don't get to see it that you are adding 10. You don't get to see it, you are adding 10, but you can see if you say 10 plus 1, it's 11. That is the same thing that we are doing here. You go and say 5 plus 1, which is equal to 6. Example number 2. 7, 6, 5, which is to base 8, minus 5, 6, 7, which is to base 8. We need to subtract again. 5 minus 7, you can't, so you go and borrow. This becomes 7. And this one, you go in and say 8 plus 5. 8 plus 5 becomes 13. This time you don't go and put 1. When you are putting 1, the numbers are in base 10. In this one, because we are in base 8, so you go and say 8 plus 5, which is 13. What is 13 minus 7? 13 minus 7 is 6. And if you say 6 minus 7, it can't again. You go and borrow, and this becomes what? Becomes 6. But that one you borrow, it goes on top and become 8. So you say 8 plus 6, which becomes what? 14. Then you say 14 minus 7. 14 minus 7 is 7. Then you say 7 minus 6 is 1, which is equals to say 8. So we are saying numbers that are not in base 10. You subtract it like we do when you are subtracting time. You know, when you go and borrow 1, when you go and put it on top, it becomes 60. It doesn't become like you just put 1. You go and put 60, whatever which was there, you say 60 plus, because in time it is in base 60. That's why you go and add 60. Now if it's in base 8, you go and add 8. If it's in base 2, you go and add 2. If it's in base 5, you go and add 5. Thank you for watching. There's no work today. I didn't prepare, and enjoy your day.